Welcome to the Magic of Medicals podcast. I'm your host, Buddy Abrahams.
And I'm Terri Allen.
A show about the moments that changed people's lives forever. Good morning, Terri, and welcome. And thank you for joining us on the Magic of Medicals podcast. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce Terri to us. Terri Miles is a licensed spiritual practitioner. Terri began her deep spiritual journey in 2011 and became a license through Agape International Spiritual Center in 2016. Terri is also a committed student of A Course in Miracles, and she facilitates a weekly group of like-minded individuals where they join together via Zoom, where they read and discuss the Course in Miracles and its practical use in an everyday life. So thank you, Terri. Thank you for joining us.
I just want to go in there that we did, it's interesting, because we went to Agape, when it was open and everyone was gathering. And I always saw you on the stage, I always saw you reading, but we'd never met. And we only met through the Course in Miracles on Zoom. And everyone said, you have to meet Terri because I've got the same name. And yet, so we never actually met in person, and we still haven't really, have we?
Not really. I will say, first, let me say thank you for having me. And I will say that I have seen you, Terri, in the lobby at Agape, but there was always someone with you. You were doing the children's books and you were always engaged with someone. And so I never actually got to come up there and push people out the way to meet you. So.
Well, that's me, Terri, always talking.
I get it. Yeah.
Thank you. And we really look forward to, we were guided actually. We always, Buddy and I, pray for who should be on the Magic of Miracles podcast. And your name kept coming in for like a month. And so we wrote it down and we contacted you. So we are really grateful that you honored to be with us and to share your divine story with everybody at this time. Thank you.
We always try to get people on Magic of Miracles that has a divine moment, but also people that will be able to help us spread this light, this love, where we can touch someone out there that might need it most at this point in time in their life. So, yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. I know that I never know when someone's going to be touched by something I have said or even something that someone shared with me that I then shared with someone else. So I really appreciate this time. I want to tell a little joke.
Go on then.
Please do.
Okay. And it's not original. I stole it from someone. So I heard about this little boy. He was out in front of his yard playing, and this man came walking down the street, kind of frustrated, and he said, "Son, I'm lost. Can you tell me how to get to the post office?" And the little boy said, "Yes, go to the stop sign, turn left, and it's right around the corner." And he thanked him, and he said, "By the way, I'm the new pastor here in town. If you'll come to my church this Sunday, I'll tell you how to get to heaven." And the little boy said, "No, thanks. You don't even know how to get to the post office." So
that's good.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I'll have that one. I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take that one. Michael will like that. Yes. Michael will like that.
You're welcome to have at it.
Yes. Well, the floor is all yours, darling.
Thank you. So I wanted to, in really just kind of sitting with this and seeing what I wanted to share, there were a few things that I kind of jotted down that I shared with you that I'd like to share. But the one story that comes true for me right now is how A Course in Miracles came into my life. And, as you mentioned, that I am a student and a facilitator of A Course in Miracles. And just briefly, A Course in Miracles is a self-study spiritual thought system. And it supports one's awakening to truth. And, that we are one with God, the divine beloved, whatever name people choose to call God. And it appeals to me because it's a universal spiritual teaching, not a religion.
Yeah.
And so I really appreciate that. A Course in Miracles came into my life in 2014. And from 2014 to 2017, my husband and I were very diligent students, I would say, of the Course. And, it was, we discovered it through Agape, as you mentioned, Agape International. And the group would meet in person there. And for a while, we were unable to attend. I knew the group was meeting there, but we weren't able to attend the group meeting. And so then when it came into our lives, 2014, we were able to begin meeting with the group through 2017. In late 2018, my beautiful teacher who used to run that group asked if I would take the group over. And they were moving on to something else. And when the phone call came, I have to say I was honored, and a bit nervous. Right away, it was, oh my gosh, I can't be a facilitator. I can't do this. I don't know enough. I haven't been studying long enough. How am I going to do the, the comparisons set in about, how can I run it like they did? How can I, and really on and on and on and on. That took about 2 days. I did respond and said yes. I was really grateful and excited. At the same time that happened, there were, Agape was going through a physical move, and there wasn't really space for the group to continue to meet. And so we began meeting here in my home. My husband and I have a home here in Los Angeles. And so we started meeting here. It was great, but there was a part of me that wanted expansion. I didn't know how, I didn't know why. And I set out on this course to desperately, and I'm using that word, desperately spreading the word about this group. And to the degree that, I, was working with the room schedulers at Agape and trying to get it announced and placed on the, into the schedule. And I mean, like this went on for 1 year.
Oh.
From November 2018 to November 2019, I was really efforting phone calls, emails, at the same time still running the group here in our home. And then it just something clicked. Oh, we have space here. We're already meeting here. I had cleaned out my living room. We have no furniture in our living room. I had gotten rid of all of our furniture about a year or two before, not knowing why or how. So we were meeting with in chairs in the circle in our living room already. And it just hit me. And I told my husband, I'm like, what am I doing? Mm-hmm. Why am I efforting so hard here? I'm exhausted. We have the space already. Let me just rest in that. So I let it go. I literally took my hands off of trying to make the meeting meet at Agape. And what I ended up doing was the beautiful space of social media. So, I shared with you and you, Terri and Buddy, that your podcast was my first podcast that I ever listened to in my life.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. and it just reminds me of the power of social media. And so what I ended up doing was, I have a Facebook page, I have a website, and I thought, just share this. Just share the information that you're meeting in your home. And there was that little thing that was like, but it's in your home. How do you share your address? And it's like, just have people contact you. Yeah. It can be that simple. And so I operated like that for a bit from 2019 to 2020, and then the pandemic. And oh my gosh. So now, not only are we not meeting at Agape, we're not meeting in person. We immediately had to switch to Zoom.
That's right.
Or some other platform. And I'm just like, okay, smoothly this happened. And with a few adjustments, a nice mic, a new camera, a new monitor, Zoom became the new platform, the new meeting place. And talk about expansion and growth. That has allowed more people to connect with us in this group, people who have been seeking and searching this group, or I should say, A Course in Miracles group, to be connected with, as Buddy mentioned in the introduction, like-minded individuals. And
it was the first time we could attend, actually.
Exactly.
Because we were at Agape, and I was always doing the children in mindfulness and on the bookstall as well. And we could never get to Terri's, and we wanted to go.
But they always say that the solution is always in front of us.
So the first time we went was then when she started on Zoom.
Yes.
Exactly. And that was such a reminder for me as people started contacting me.
Yeah.
And really excited about the opportunity to be in this community. And so what that experience, and we're still meeting. Since that time, the beginning of 2021, I got a little hit again. We meet on Sundays, and people were coming. We have people now from all over, different countries, and the time zones are kind of interesting. And so I've had people ask me, do you have is there an earlier group? And, I refer them to the ACIM official website, and they're like, no, with you. And I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know. And I had gotten a hit to do another group, to start another group. And finally I said, okay, I'm just going to be obedient to what I'm hearing. And so now we meet on Sunday afternoon, and also on Monday at an earlier time. So I run two groups, and it has just been amazing. And I am just excited. And what this experience, the moment that came to me is when I just simply let go of the efforting of trying to make it be something, meetings with Agape and emails and trying to make it be there and all of these things. But when I let go, and just simply trusted that there's something that I've actually asked for. I asked for growth. I've asked for expansion. Now, can I just trust that? And there's three things that came to me. Like, what does that mean? Well, the first one is, don't lean on my own understanding. Just don't do that. It's just like, don't do that. And the other thing is releasing anything that I think the way that I think it should be.
100%. Yeah.
Completely agree with you, because there's always a bigger picture for us. There's always we
limit ourselves.
Correct. We might think that this is the way it's supposed to be, but source and universe changes it and gives us something much better. But we kind of, by our own stubbornness and our own situation, thinking how it needs to be, our own reflection, putting it on there, it kind of blocks the entire situation for it to come in.
Absolutely. And the third one is exactly what Terri just said, the limited thinking.
Yes.
Yeah.
My thoughts are limited. There I was with this tunnel vision. And I mean, I'm pretty relentless when it comes to like a thing I think, don't ask my husband, but, I'm just relentless. I kind of like that grabbing hold of something and just, this is the way it needs to be. It was so clear to me.
Yeah.
So I thought until I just let go. And so it was in that moment that just really touches me, even when I remember how tightly I was holding on to what I thought it should be. And now what it is, what it looks like, and what it even can expand to be. I was also led to share to co-facilitate the co-facilitation duties with my dear practitioner friend, Coco Mooney also. So, she supports me in this beautiful vision that is just unfolded so perfectly. So yeah, that's my story.
Would you like to just explain to people the Course in Miracles? Because I know that's not an easy one to explain, because we've attended the classes for like 3 months and they were a great help to us. And I've always wanted to do some classes with the Course in Miracles because I have the book.
Yes.
Yeah.
That alone could be.
Couldn't get into that. Yeah. Well, I've tried, and then it was better to do the class.
Absolutely. And, some people, so let me just frame it this way. It's a self-study spiritual thought system.
Right.
As I mentioned in the beginning, it supports one's awakening to truth, our true nature, that we have never been separated from source, that we are one with, and I'll say, God, love, the infinite. There are many names for the one, just like there are many paths. And the Course itself even says this is one path, not the only path. It's a universal spiritual teaching, not a religious teaching. And that's something that I really appreciate and relate to. And as you said, Terri, it can, words could do it an injustice. But that's the simple explanation for what it is.
Yeah. And how would you say that your divine message is coming for you to share with our listeners? Because everyone has a different way of hearing it. Yeah.
Well, as a student of A Course in Miracles, a lot of the teaching centers around silence, the idea of living a more peaceful life, and the way that works for me is just that. I can't say that there's, I hear these messages or I get, words from the divine or anything like that. It's more of pausing in that space of quiet and stillness. And what I'll put in front of that is intentional quiet and stillness. Also, as I mentioned, the hit, the thing that just kind of dropped in. With that practice of being still, meditation, as you're familiar with, intentional stillness, intentional silence, that's what, for me, allows for whatever that information is that's coming through for me to come. And it may not happen in that moment, but the gift of me just allowing myself to slow down, so that when I'm in those moments of rote activities, I can have that awareness to pause. I tell a story of a time that I was, before my mother passed away, they had called to tell me she had fallen in the facility where she was. And that day I had done my regular practice. I can't say it's like an everyday thing, right? I'm sitting with my hands in a mudra and the perfect minute, but I had done my practice, and I was headed out to go see about her. And I'm rushing around and getting my phone, and I'm doing all the things that I do to get ready to go. I was working at the time. I hadn't retired yet. And I called my job and I'm telling them this, and I get in the car and I'm backing out of my driveway, just in this spin of, is she hurt? What do I need to do? Are they going to take her to the hospital? All of the things that my mind was doing. And I backed out of the driveway. And I just stopped. I just stopped in the middle of my street, it's a residential street, but it's a kind of a busy street. There's activity. And I just paused. And I just took a moment. And it was in that moment, not so much that something came to me as it was more of a reset, just a breath.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what I was going to see when I got there. I don't know what was going, and I don't even know to this day what happened. I can't remember. But what I do know was that moment of pause, that moment of stillness is what I'll say allowed me to reset. And maybe that reset is a message of some sort, but I can't say that it comes in words.
Quite a few people have mentioned it that way, and that's the same personally for me. I don't want to talk for everybody, but for me, I'm the same as you. I get within me a knowing to sit, to be still. Some message is coming in, something's coming in for me, and by us moving and actively and not managing our emotions and awareness, we miss that message, we miss that alignment that's trying to come in for us. I think that's why you were describing before with the Course in Miracles, that you were so busy over there that it was trying to land over here and we're over there. And and so I think it's quite a common message coming through to people. Does yours come in that way, would you say?
Mine comes through where I kind of get a feeling where I get really starting to get anxious, and I'm starting to get really in a place where I'm like really hyped up, and there's too much energy. I kind of have to take one step back and I just breathe. And for me to get back to that stillness, exactly the same as you. But for me, it takes me a long time to get there.
Well, I'll raise my hand and my other hand and both my feet. But and the key for me is when I feel that it's taking me too long. Again, one of the things that A Course in Miracles has imparted to me is the importance of not condemning myself for thinking that it's taking too long. Correct. Or, all of that, just releasing the judgment around that to the degree that I can. And to also laugh about it like we just did. Because sometimes it is funny to think about watching myself in that spin, whatever it is, even with the activity of thinking that the group needed to look like this over here and doing this, in the spin of backing out my car to go see about my mom, in the spin of any of that, and then pausing. Sometimes
and I think
it's
also
funny.
Prior to the pandemic, I was in a spin, if I look back. But I think many people were. I think we were all on overdrive.
Yeah.
And we were given a reset button. I feel, whether you took advantage of that reset button or not. There was two ways for you to go. And for me, it was a great, like you, a reset button, a positive reset button, even if we didn't think it at the time, going through it. But there was all those resources there, like your class and other things. And it's just, it was there for us to use. And I think the messages that you're saying through these podcasts and through your story, they're simple techniques, but simple things that people probably need to hear. Because it was a lot of letting go, I think, during that 2020, because we did.
Changed my life completely.
Yeah.
Changed my life completely.
It did.
I had to go within. I had to go and see what do I need to let go of. I had spiritually grown in that time, but there's a lot that I had to catch up with Terri as well, because I mean, I had to sort out my bag. I had to go dig deep and open up that bag, that I had to do. So, and I mean, I've enjoyed it because I had to let it go. Yeah.
At the time, it was scary.
Yeah.
But I think it would be unnormal for anyone not to feel that fear and that scared at that time.
Absolutely.
But for us, it was, as you said, the if you're allowing that faith and that energy to flow through to you and guide you to where we're all meant to be in this new form of life, can be that miracle.
Absolutely. Just trusting, and I say just trusting, but really trusting.
Correct. And faith. Yeah.
And faith. Absolutely. It's the thing I can't see. I want to know what's down in the bottom of that bag. I'm afraid to look. Okay, but I know I need to dig that up and look. And looking with love.
Correct.
Without judgment. And
that's what I loved about the Course in Miracles when we did the group, because you were doing it at a time there was a lot going on, and I did feel for you. And it was the point that we just don't. Everyone's going through an experience, an emotion, and to not judge.
It was big.
That was big.
It was massive, Terri.
Yeah. And it continues to be. Because there's still a lot going on. And so, to be able to not only be the space of love, but to also extend that so that when people arrive in the group, they land there, they're not sure. And it's a place also where really, there is no judgment here.
Terri, can you explain in terms of when you started the Course of Miracles compared to when you took it over as a facilitator to where you are today? How did it change your life? Because it shifted everything in your life, because you then no longer just participating, but you are facilitating the entire group of people, like-minded people. How did it change your life if you look back from the day when you got that email to where you are today?
Sure. So what I noticed in the beginning, first of all, it's kind of funny because when the book came into my life, it came through my husband, Albert. We knew about it, but he, at that time, I would ask him, read to me. He reads. I always say when we got married, we met at Agape 8 years ago, he read a lot, and I would say, read to me, and so he pulls out a course and starts reading it, and then he says to me, this isn't the kind of book, you just read to somebody, this is, as I mentioned, this is a self-study thing.
Yeah.
And so again, we were able to start going to the groups. And what I found right away for me was it just spoke to me. I don't understand every single word and the way that it's written. But there are certain aspects of it that just land with me.
Correct.
And it's a very big, thick book. But what it has done for me, and I say this quite often in my groups, is that it has supported me in slowing down. So before the groups, or before attending the groups, I had done a lot of training through Agape and became a practitioner. So I had some pretty strong foundation. And then the course really supported that even more. And then when I was asked to take the group over, of course, the little ego started, who do you think you are? You don't know enough. And it's like, who is saying that? And when I had to laugh.
We've all got one of those.
Okay. I got a couple. And so when I paused and just said yes, I realized I don't have to really facilitate it. Like I don't have to teach it.
Correct.
The group kind of runs itself. So I literally facilitate it. So just kind of so that I'm reminding everyone that this is a space of love. I'm reminding us that there's no judgment here. I'm reminding that everyone is in their own journey. We get to practice being with one another in that space and allowing for everyone to have their own experience. So that's what I help support through facilitating the groups. I hope that answered your question.
And what would you say has hit you and Albert probably and Coco the most? I mean, obviously you don't want to always speak for them, but I'm sure you've had a chat in the group there about what's expanded for you.
Yes, for me, it has really been something, I'll say, Terri and Buddy, that is very, very hard to put into words. There is a feeling of love that's palpable. The space that is co-created week after week after week. The vibration that's there. It's just a space for people to land, if only for a moment, for a couple of hours, hour and a half, to just come to without judgment. That's been the biggest. It's always been there, but there's something that has happened, and I guess the pandemic and us moving to the Zoom platform really facilitated that, because I never thought that I would feel that through
Correct.
Through Zoom.
No, she was going to say that. We felt that with it's like our meditation that we've been holding for 1 year, freely, like you, every Friday morning without fail, unless we've gone away or there's an Easter break or something. The energy, like you said, has been set. So when we all come together, whether some come in, drop out, new people, but it is a few that still hold that current of energy, as I would say.
Yes.
You can feel that you just drop in, and it's a supportive place for those that need it, and a place for them to be still and to listen and to get some comfort and to be held, I think. And I feel yours is the same, because ours is also people from around the world, and people have dropped in and out. And it's that space that has been given, and we've allowed it to flow through us. As you said, a facilitator, allowing it to be that space for others.
Absolutely. And I want to just, if I may, take a moment to say, this group will continue to meet in Zoom. We're opening up, and
I agree.
I've had people ask me, well, what's going to happen? I have a lot of people that come from out of state and out of country. And I just want to, if I may, just take the opportunity to
please do
share that we intend to continue meeting in the Zoom platform every Sunday from 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific, and every Monday from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Pacific, period.
I agree. I think it's wonderful. And I think you're allowing people from all over the world that can join. So it has been, Zoom, which I'd never really I don't think I'd heard of. Had I?
No, you haven't.
No. I don't know about you, Terri, but I hadn't. I wasn't really a technical person. But, you know,
I've learned.
It was the miracle of Zoom.
Yeah.
Really. You know, so and we will share that with when we put this out. We will share, you know, the information and the links.
Of course, we're here to help each other on this 100%.
Planet. That's the whole thing for us, that doing this podcast, you doing your Course in Miracles for people and our meditations and other things. It's helping one another, not divide. It's together as a community. That's what's important. And that's what I've seen that last year. I was like, oh, no.
It's a gateway of support for each other, and it's a gateway of support one another and help and guide. But also, if you could,
we're one family.
100%, we won on this planet. No matter what, we won.
It doesn't matter where you're from, what color, what race, anything.
We
doesn't
won.
matter. It's
absolutely.
The light and the soul and the love that we carry in our hearts is what we see in one another, nothing else.
Absolutely. You guys are going to make me cry.
No, but that's how I was raised.
Terri.
And this is how I brought up. And, you know, this is what's so important.
Yeah,
it's missing.
It's missing. We need to realize that we won on this planet.
Correct.
We're not one, we won. Whatever happens, someone else in the part of the world, we can all feel that energy. We can always touch that energy. It's there. We all one. We all energy. That is it.
We saw that when we worked overseas in Ethiopia, and I went to Dhaka, you know, with the orphanages, and we adopted Michael, as you know. That light that you see in anyone's eyes is it's the same light that everyone has got. You.
Absolutely. And that's the reminder for me that it's really not missing. It's that I've forgotten. I've
Correct.
Forgotten that it's there.
You're right.
You know, and then these opportunities
Correct.
like this and the groups remind me that it's already present. I am the light.
Yes,
you know?
We are just that. We're that light. We're not anything else.
Yeah.
And to take off that thought and that limitations and what's been planted in there or put on there through whatever is just this. I think it's this whole pandemic is get back to your light.
Our core being.
Get back to your core being. Get back
Absolutely.
to your community, to loving Mother Earth, respecting Mother Earth, respecting and loving each other when they're on their own journey.
Love their neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And through community, you mentioned, you know, unity, you know, just bringing us to that reminder that we are one.
We are one.
We are one.
That's it. Nothing else. So that was beautiful. So I think that's,
Thank you so much, Terri. Thank you so much for your
lovely.
time.
Thank you so much for sharing your steps and your divine moments. And we will be putting all the information there on the YouTube so people can connect to your group. And because it is beautiful and people, it's A Course in Miracles is not something, I think it's a lifetime of learning.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not a one and done.
Definitely
it is for some, and for some it isn't. Again,
it's a lifetime.
Yeah, well, it's a way. It's not the only
way.
That's the beautiful part about it. And it's not just that and not that. You can have many different things. Yeah. So
thank you
so
and
much.
Thank you for being with us and sharing your time and your story. And we love what you're doing. And thank you. We're really blessed.
Thank you, Terri. Thank you, buddy. And I appreciate everything that you are doing also. Just shining light everywhere. I appreciate you both so much.
Thank you, darling.